Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming on to yet another episode. I want to say edition. I keep treating this like it's a magazine of Skipping Lunch After Dark because it is lunchtime somewhere. That's the way that, the globe is a sphere, or technically a spheroid. So it's always lunchtime somewhere, but right now it's after dark. And if you don't know the story behind that, I'll tell it again to you sometime. But right now, I want to get to my guest for this evening because I'm really excited because this is someone who is a wonderful contact for me and is been a very good friend to both the channel and to EcclesiaCon. This is the one, the only Tiger Wizard. How are you doing this evening?
I am great. Wes, thanks so much for having me on. It's a pleasure. I've been, like you said, I've been sending people to and their games your way for a while, so it's cool to finally come on and talk about my game
I'm
or
so
games.
excited. So excited. We actually have Jeff Woody art here from South Korea. I think it's lunchtime in Japan. Thank you so much for confirming.
You
So
know,
I have worked.
lunchtime, Wes, is really just it's a state of mind,
It's a state
actually.
of mind. I mean,
You
it
don't.
meant like skipping lunch is kind of like that planet in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy where it was always like 5 o'clock on a Friday,
Mhm.
where the bars weren't completely full yet. Glenn Finney is here.
Hi, Glenn.
Dave from Grimwood Games is here, scheduling something at the same time as me again. Good times. Thank you for popping on, folks. But so what we're gonna do is because I know you a little bit. I excited always to see you in person at some of the cons that we go to. But I want to get to know you a little bit more. I want to share you with the viewing audience
Okay,
tonight.
let's go.
So I am going to ask you some questions to get to know you. This is my version of the Colbert questionnaire.
Okay.
So the first one is the same for everybody. This is a strange hobby. It is a weird hobby. It attracts strange, wonderful, and weird people because this is the way things should be. That's the best type of people. My question is, what first got you into this wonderful, wild, strange, weird, awesome hobby?
Okay. Well, it was comic books. When I was very young, I wanted to be a comic book artist. I got a job working at a comic book store when I was probably too young to be working anywhere. But he
I
paid,
did that.
yeah, he paid me in comic books.
Hmm.
And while working at that comic book store, I got to go to Dragon Con, which is a local convention here in Atlanta. But as a 12-year-old, you're like walking. I mean, it was way different back then too. It was
Yeah.
uh, it was always kind of a party crowd, but this was just like stepping into a whole new wild world for me, and I was exposed to a bunch of fantasy art. I'd
Hmm.
been really into comic book art and superhero stuff, and then I went to Dragon Con and I started seeing these like dragon paintings and these like knights with swords casting magic spells and all of this kind of stuff. And I was just like, I want to be whatever that is. And that's kind of what kicked it off. So from there was, just a gradual descent through the upper tiers of hobby all the way down to like the real hard, crunchy, crunchy rolling dice at tables. So yeah,
How
comic
how
books brought me
crunchy
here.
did you go?
How crunchy? I mean, all the
Did you
way.
go GURPS?
I never went GURPS, but
Okay.
I don't think it's fair to say I never went full GURPS. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Okay.
Like I had some of the books, and kind of in my early gaming life, there was a lot of hacking different things into
Hmm.
basically Dungeons and Dragons, but like I would take from anywhere, riffs, GURPS, whatever sword and sorcery book I could get. We were porting it all over.
You were one of those people,
Yeah,
which is pretty much
curse
every
me if you
people.
like.
No, that's the way it should be. I like that thing. I will pluck that and put this over here. That's what we always complain nowadays. Like people don't play. The only reason why we had set rules is so they could play at tournaments.
Yeah,
Everybody was hacking on their own back in the day. All right, so
and today
you,
too. There's still
it's
a lot of
it's
hacking going on now.
it's what we have to do, right? That's half the fun of the hobby. You've played for a while now. can you remember the most memorable character that you've ever played?
Oof. So you told me right before we jumped on a question you were going to ask me later. Uh,
Oh,
and yeah, I can. Um, it was it was a wizard. And I called him Tiger Wizard. It was my first definitely Dungeons and Dragons character. I liked him so much that I sort of took the moniker as my artist name. In my 20s, I tried to be didn't try to be. I was successfully a gallery artist with painting and illustration.
wow. Okay.
When I say successful, I just mean that I had shows in galleries. I
Hmm.
don't mean that it was lucrative in any shape or form.
Right.
Um, but I was trying to go down that trajectory of being a serious gallery artist, and I used Tiger Wizard as my artist name. Then when I moved into doing music, I kept Tiger Wizard as sort of my music name. Um, so it's been with me for a long time now. I used to tell people, you want to hear a little lie?
Yeah. Tell me
Um,
the lie.
okay, so I used to tell people that I went to see a like mystical shaman and that they like did a scrying thing and in that process told me it's like, oh yes, you have the ferocity of a tiger but the sageness of a wizard, you shall be Tiger Wizard. Yeah, it's a pretty good story, but
I'm trying not to like laugh out loud into the mic
you
while you're
can
telling
laugh.
the story. That is so.
No,
No, I'm
you can
trying not to
laugh.
ruin the take. That is all. How many people bought it?
I don't know. Ask the chat. Anybody buy that?
Anybody buy that? If that came across you, I think that is absolutely amazing.
It's pretty. It was pretty easy at the time because I could do a pretty good deadpan and just be like, yeah. So we were out in the desert and came across this sort of mystical shaman. He was selling crystals, and he had some like some rugs for sale too. And we were like, oh, let's just go see what the reading is going to be like. Maybe he'll do some cards or something or roll some bones. And we are like, yeah, that'd be cool. But as soon as he saw me, he just stopped and pulled out a sage stick like he was saging the area like unclean or something, and we were all like, what's going on? I don't get this. Then he pointed at me and was like, you you have the spirit of a tiger and the magic of a wizard. And I was like, what, me, seriously, you're talking to me? So yeah, I mean, you could buy that, right?
That is the
Wes,
great.
I'm not like a pathological liar or anything.
I love everything about that story because I can
uh,
feel like, whoa.
yeah. Um, but I did do a lot of acting as a young man. But kind of in tandem with
Hmm.
like getting into gaming. I got into improv, and I wanted to do acting or improv more than acting really.
Yep.
So
That is awesome. I did.
okay,
I was a theater kid.
yeah.
So Jeff, what he says, if you mentioned hallucinogens, I'd probably buy that. Well, stick around for when we get to his game. Um, so I have.
I don't know what kind of crowd you have going on here, Wes. I definitely would have used a hallucinogenic. Like I was thinking, maybe this is a peyote story actually, but
I was going to
uh,
say you hit a peyote story. Yeah, it was fine.
yeah.
So all right, so we're going way over here. Um, Here's my unnecessarily hostile question. I have
Oh,
to.
bring it.
I have decided that I'm going to always put an unnecessarily hostile question, just so I get an answer
Mm,
back from it. And I did warn you about King Eric, the greatest of all. His latest comment is, "I played burps back in the day."
yeah.
I did warn you about him. So here's my unnecessarily hostile question: do you prefer social or combat encounters when you're at a table?
Do I prefer social or combat encounters when I'm at a table?
Yes.
Depends on where I'm sitting. If I'm sitting in the player's seat,
Yeah.
uh, I'm down for any kind of encounter. Most of the time, when there is a combat encounter, for me as a player, it is a social encounter because I want to talk to the bad guys before I attack them. I want to talk to my fellow uh, player characters
Okay.
before
Okay.
we do anything in character. Like I am all about being social during combat, so why not both? When I am behind the screen, which by the just to be clear, I don't use a GM screen. I roll dice in front of everybody. I ain't got any notes back here that I'm scared of you seeing. But when I am in the storyteller or game master position,
Uh-huh.
I also prefer social encounters, and it's not that combat is boring to me by any means. I love hacking and slashing some goblins and orcs. Um, but I just love the story beats. I love the story beats that you can develop from a social encounter, and yeah,
I,
social.
I, I listen.
That wasn't hostile at all.
Listen. You're locked in a room. I locked you in a room, and here's what I will say: you have successfully dodged the unnecessarily hostile question
Okay.
because you went both.
Yeah, why not
I
both?
asked you
I
an
mean,
either or, and you went yes, which
yeah.
is my answer to an either or question. So if I had a cap, I would tip it to you right now.
Okay. Well,
But and when people get social in combat, it's great. So you're doing like Spider-Man quips when you're doing the combat.
I mean, it
Like,
depends. Like, I mean, everything needs to make sense for the story. If you're playing something that's super serious and that's not appropriate, then I don't want to be that annoying guy that's like trying to make a joke out of every swing. But
yep,
at the same time, you can play a serious game and still have your combat be social. You know, it is a social game after all, and
you
I
can
think
talk to the other characters. Like I'm doing that. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Perfect. I like it. Good job. Way to
yay.
dodge.
I wasn't trying to.
It was a dodge action. It
I
was.
was trying to
Listen,
answer the
it was
question.
an honest dodge. You just used your skills. It's fine. We're all
Okay.
right.
All
All right.
right.
Here's my next one. Actually, we have somebody in the chat who's in the list. So you are in another room. You're not locked in.
You
So
can
this
lock
is not
me.
a
I'm not.
this is not a hostile question. So you're in a room. There's Professor DM, Luke Stratton,
Uh huh.
Jorben from Elder Goblin Games, who is in the
Uh
chat
huh.
right now, and
Okay.
Pages Ron Meshker.
Okay.
There's 6 chairs around a table. One of them set up for the GM. Which chair are you going for?
I'm going for the GM chair, like every time. Like, no question.
You know, you're the
Uh,
second person to do that.
that's a silly question. So, all right. So I've played with Luke plenty of times. He's a friend. I've played with Jorben actually at Page. He played in a
Yeah.
game of Torn with me. And actually, I can't remember. Jorben, yell out in the chat. Did you play in that AD&D game too? I don't remember. But
He played in the super secret game with you that I was jealous that you guys were all playing and I had to go home.
oh,
It made me
were,
sad.
I'm sorry. When will
You're
I
in the
see
super game.
Wes? We'll make our
Your
own
fault.
secret game. What's the next con that we'll
We're
play
gonna keep
together?
other people out. Probably packed, unfortunately.
Well, so
Because
I mean,
don't
I have an
so.
attitude at the gaming table, which is that I always want to tell a story. I always want to play a game, especially if it's fun, cool people. You mentioned some great names, some people that I'm sure all of their games would be fantastic. But I'm also a game designer, so I'm constantly trying to test what I'm working on for my
These
job.
are good players, and I want to test this out. Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like hell
So
yeah. Like it doesn't really matter who's sitting at the table. If there's an opportunity and I've got the time to play a game, I'm going to gravitate towards that that DM seat. And you know, if any of those folks like really want the chair, you know, like that's fine. You can have it. I'm not gonna fight. I'll be social about it. I won't go to combat for the DM seat.
but she's like, no, I have those players in the room. I'm running a game for them, which I thought was great. And Jordan pointed out that you played Torn and Roll 5 Stay Alive. So you get to play with John McGuire,
Oh,
who
right.
is one of the funniest people on the planet.
He's a
Love
good friend
John.
of mine too. He's
So,
a part. We have a little secret club called the Sewer Rats. Do you know about
oh,
the Sewer Rats? So,
no, do tell.
all right, let me grab a. So the
I
Sewer
thought you were
Rat.
looking over to see John's gonna yell at you for giving away secrets. Go ahead, tell me the
No,
sewer
no.
rats.
So Sewer Rats
Oh,
is our little collective. I like to think of it like indie RPG Wu-Tang Clan, um,
love it.
because we're like everybody is that's involved is amazing on their own. But then we also get together and do stuff together. So
Uh-huh.
in this particular zine, this is the one we made last year. It's 321 RPG, which is John Hambo and Gio Colazzo's
On.
um,
Yep.
cinematic game, and then we've got Brian Shutter, Neon Lords of the Toxic Wastelands, and then we've got
Wasteland. Yep.
my good. What did I say? Yeah, Wasteland. I fuck that up all the time. I'm sorry. I mess that up all the time. And then we've got Joey
We're not gonna get
Royale
demonetized. It's all right.
and Weird Heroes of Public Access, and then we've got
I don't know that.
Don't Tell Mom and Dad, which has been Maz and Ted Gilbert's. It's sort of like it's like a Kids on Bikes vibe. You get cool points. Your kids.
Are they Gen Xers?
No, like 80s.
Are they
kids.
Gen Xers?
Like
They're Gen Xers.
are the creators Gen Xers?
Are the creators Gen Xers? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell
probably.
mom and dad. That's like our mantra, right? That's what we say. Okay, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we just we're buddies that encourage each other to keep creating.
Yeah.
And then we create stuff together. Also a part of the group that I didn't mention their names, but myself, Tiger Wizard, hi, that's me, and Levi Combs of Planet X Games.
Love Levi. Awesome. I have
So
not
for
met
this-
Levi yet.
For this particular zine, we just focused on those 4 game systems. Me and Levi didn't submit a game system for this zine, and
I'm gonna have to start picking those up.
You don't have one of these?
I don't have one yet. I need to rectify this.
Well, I'm gonna put one in the mail to you next week. Okay.
Aw.
I'm going
Thanks,
to
man.
Gary. Yeah, of course. I'm going to Gary Con this week, but as soon as I get home, I'll put one in the mail. Looks like
Thank you.
My cat Yara is gonna join us for a little bit.
Cats always get into frame. So and Justin's here. So my favorite
Justin.
interaction with John. Hi, my favorite interaction with John McGuire was at PAX 2 years ago, where he had just done the Seasons Eatings, which was the Roll 5 Stay Alive zombie apocalypse in the mall, and he ran down the spiel in about 30 seconds. And I'm holding a gimbal stabilized, actually the same one I'm using here, a gimbal stabilized camera, and I can't keep it steady because I am laughing so hard.
Yeah.
Like he just went nuts, and I'm like, John, I'm doing like what you were doing when you're telling the peyote story. I'm trying not to laugh, and you just can't. I couldn't keep it in because he was like just off the wall. John has been a friend of mine ever since I first met him at Page. He's absolutely amazing. You are also amazing, so we're going to shout
Thank
you
you.
out too. Because you're here. It would be bad if I didn't shout you out. So let's talk.
We should forget about my career. Let's just talk.
Let's talk about John. Let's talk about Brian Shutter. Brian's
actually,
also me.
let's talk about Ham Bones for just a quick second. So he has a book that's coming out very soon called.
Is that the Dino Nights?
Yes, it's called.
I backed that.
Children of Uma, Death by Dino, and I have a bunch of dinosaur drawings in it.
You did the art?
Not all of it. There's a whole bunch of artists, but
Love
I
it.
think I have like 6 drawings in there. So keep your eyes out. They're some of my favorite dinosaur drawings I've ever done. And okay, I mentioned earlier that I at one point wanted to be a gallery artist.
Yes.
Specifically a paleo artist. So yeah, I really wanted to be a guy that just painted dinosaurs all the time. But anyway,
so you got to live your dream a little bit as the cat comes out.
Yeah.
I love it. A black cat coming on the screen. Great.
Just rubbing up on the microphone.
Messing with the pop shield. Love it.
As soon as that is out, definitely check out Death by Dino.
It's really good. I'm really excited for it.
I I probably should have put you upstairs before this started.
That's all right.
Okay.
We'll deal. We'll deal. A little chaos. It's fine. The first time I interviewed Bunny, she and Zane were in the same room, but I put them in two different windows on the screen, and the cat
Uh-huh.
kept on walking back and forth between them, like it was in Portal. It was awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. All right, let's talk. So your current day job is at Exalted Funeral. What is your official title for them?
When I started working for Exalted Funeral, I was like, hey, can I come up with my own job title? And they were like, I guess so. Yeah. So I was like, well, I would like to be senior game design wizard. So that's my official title. But what I do at Exalted Funeral is I do a lot of editing.
Yeah.
I do a lot of review of incoming games, and then I also I write a lot of games for them, which like we can talk about one of those in just a second. And then I wear another hat, another wizard hat, which is press and media relations. So that is how me and Wes have already developed a friendship. I'm constantly sending press releases and review copies to press outlets.
Yep. Yeah, and you were very kind to get me connected at PAX U so we could talk with the owners, the
Absolutely.
originators of Exalted Funeral, which was one of my favorite interviews that I've done. And we've stayed in touch, which always makes me happy. And for folks who don't understand, when you're doing this and you get the press releases, like you send out, like when you reply, you have that strange uh, imposter syndrome. It's like, okay, well, they'll do this for me and then we'll never contact back. And it's always so nice where like someone goes, "Oh, that was great. Let's talk again," and they actually mean it and contact back. And you are one of those lovely people who have alleviated some of my stress of doing this. So thank you so much for
Oh,
that.
you're welcome. It's honestly like people like you make my job easier as well. So I I appreciate you. Like I send you a book, and most of the time you'll say something about it, nice or not. I mean, I don't care. Like I'm just looking for other people to be excited about the games that we're doing. So yeah,
It's
I mean, I am equally grateful
Thank you
for
so
your
much.
friendship. We have a symbiotic relationship. We are
It's
Venom.
we are Venom.
Hmm.
That's good. That makes it easier to take the compliment somehow. So thank you so much. Game design familiar or taken by the cat already? Oh, the cat's taken over. Okay, that makes sense. Is there a junior game design wizard?
Um, yes, there is. Her name is Willow. She is 16 months old, and finally starting to develop words. So we're doing like,
Oh,
what does the cow say? Moo
moo
moo.
moo
What does the hen say? Cluck cluck. Yeah, it's a crazy.
has
It's a
no
crazy
hit
time
yet.
over here. No.
No.
Yeah, she knows.
Yes.
She
No.
knows that one.
No. 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 No.
Oh yeah. So it's St. Patrick's Day. I have a
Yes,
long-standing tradition of going to a Mexican restaurant on St. Patrick's Day and an Irish pub on Cinco de Mayo.
I
So we
think that
went.
is brilliant
It's so great. Like best
because
of
there's
both
nobody
worlds,
there.
none of the rush. Yeah.
Awesome.
And so we took her there, and she had one of those like toddler meltdown tantrums
Mm-hmm.
at the Mexican restaurant. Um, yeah, a lot
Did
of
salsa fly?
salsa, water, tortilla
Really?
chips,
Ah,
beans. Yeah, it was
it
great.
all went. It's that's part of
Yeah,
being a parent. We learned
baby.
it. They got all the emotions we do and none of the ability to process them.
Yeah.
Of course, most adults nowadays, you wonder if they have the ability to process them or not. So Swords and Stones is here, late to the party, but quick hi, folks. Hey, how you doing, sir? Thanks for coming on. All right, so you have a Chinese restaurant for Thanksgiving. That was Jeff Woody Art wanted to know that one. Um, that would be an interesting.
I
You could just
usually
do
hang out. Yeah, I usually hang
year
out with a
round.
parent parent or something,
There
either
you
my
go.
wife's parents or my own, until they die. Probably do that.
That got dark really quick. Very good.
Oh,
I mean, honest, true. All
sure.
right, let's talk about so you have senior game design wizard. You do a whole lot of stuff. What is your favorite aspect of your job for Exalted Funeral? Because I know you have a new aspect of your job for Exalted Funeral that you just started, and we can talk about that too. The
Uh,
live streaming.
oh yeah. That well, actually, that is a lot of fun. That is a lot of fun. I think. Um, I don't know if it's like an official part of my job, but I think that I am kind of unofficially the community person for Exalted Funeral, and community is really where my heart's at, you know. So, um, I mean, even getting to do stuff like this, although
Mm-hmm.
it's maybe not directly tied to my job at Exalted Funeral, you know, I love getting to interact with and meet new people and talk to people about their favorite games or hear about their characters. You know,
Yeah.
I just love that stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's not like a glamorous job necessarily, but I really enjoy all the elements of it. I love the community of the folks that I get to work with. Um, I actually do really enjoy um, searching for typos. it's
Oh, you're one of those people.
Yeah.
Thank you. We need you.
Hmm. I'm pretty bad. Excuse me. I'm pretty bad at it when it comes to my own writing.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I get that like blindness for any kind of error. But yeah, for other people's stuff, it's like you know, a bunch of thorns sticking in my eyeballs. So
Mm-hmm. Very, very good.
did
I,
that answer
I
the question?
You
What
answer the
was the
question perfect, but the
okay?
community's big, and
Yeah, community.
it keeps. I so Justin is in chat, and he went on my Discord today and shared a story because he wanted to contribute to the Discord, and it was one of the most beautiful. Like the only thing I could, someone actually went, "This is testimony," because I'm a pastor. They were joking, but it was almost like how he got into the hobby,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how it all connected for that, and you realize.
Oh, it is testimony. Yeah,
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
it's your hobby money,
Hobby.
or
I like
I
hobby
don't,
money. That's
yeah,
pretty
whatever.
good. Hobby money. Um, but you realize just how key the idea is. Like this, the hobby's all about friendships.
Yeah,
Like it's that's the old cliche, right? The real hobby is the friends we made along the way, but it's actually true.
absolutely.
All these people that we meet at cons, all these people that we meet online and interacting with, and media people that we
Yeah.
talk to,
Oh,
it's
and can I
fun.
kind of like springboard off that for just a
Yeah,
second? Cause okay, so you asked me about getting into the hobby, right?
yeah.
And um, I was just alone. I was alone as a kid in comic books. I was sort of alone in that sort of artistic pursuit. But then
Mm-hmm.
I met this group of people as a teenager that wanted to play games. They wanted to play miniature war games. They wanted to play card games. And then ultimately they wanted to play tabletop role playing games. And I thought, I was like, oh, I found this group of people and they're just like, it's just going to be this, you know?
Okay.
And for a while it was. And then, you know how you kind of like people go in different directions,
Mm-hmm.
like you want to do this for fun, but like there's a career to think about now. And like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you know, I'm moving or whatever. Like all of that stuff kind of happens. Life happens,
Yeah.
and you don't really realize, or I didn't realize at that point, that you can keep meeting new people in the hobby. You can stay in the hobby and keep making new connections and new community around it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I really found that until years later when I started participating in this online community. It was around the G Plus days,
Okay.
although I was more of a lurker in the G Plus days.
Okay.
I didn't interact a whole lot, but like I would go and look. But then there was this thing called the Secret Santa Corps. Are you familiar with that?
I do not know.
So Secret Santa Corps was this really fun. It was, I guess, it was basically just like a message board. You might still be able to find it archived somewhere on the internet, but basically people would post like their wish list, like, oh, I'm running a game. I'd really love a map of dot dot dot, or I'd really love like a D12 chart of evil wizards and their fun hats or something like that.
Oh, cool.
And then creators would make this stuff, or they'd make their own things, and you'd like do kind of like this weird gift swap of like like bespoke RPG content. It was so cool, and it felt really community driven, and
Yeah.
there was no money behind it. It was just for people to like make fun stuff together, and it really just sort of made me realize like there are so many people out there that are friends to be, you know.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's such a cool idea.
Yeah, that was probably, I mean, at this point it's more than 10 years ago this was a thing. I doubt it's still a thing, but maybe it is. It was called Secret Santa Corps.
I'll have to try to find it.
Anybody in the chat know about that?
I have never heard about it.
Probably a wealth of information in the chat right now, but
we will see.
I haven't tried looking it up in a long time.
I fell back in the hobby at the pandemic.
Yeah.
Which kept my brain from completely imploding. It's only a partial implosion. But so many of the friends that I have now are all because they played this game. Or these games, I should say.
Yeah.
All right, here's the other thing. What's that?
Wes, what are you playing right now? What's your game right now?
Look at you interviewing me. Very good. You're practicing your podcasting chops. I like it. I just started running an online Tales of Argosa campaign.
Okay.
Which is, I've wanted to play that ever since I first read Low Life 2090 and then Low Fantasy Gaming. So Stephen, the author, has become a nice acquaintance. If he didn't live in Australia, he'd probably be a really good friend. Okay. And so Tales of Argosa is my online. We're on hiatus right now because one of my players is addicted to March Madness and we won't see him for a month.
Basketball. I know what March Madness is.
Yeah. And then my in-person game right now, we're doing once a month. We do Numenera.
Oh, okay.
Love Numenera. So I've learned to really love a game where I don't roll dice.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm playing right now. And then I do one shots and all sorts of different stuff. So I just did a Dolmen Wood one shot.
Now we're talking.
I did Land of Eam like probably a year ago or maybe 8 months ago. I want to do that again. Streamlined Superheroes is really fun if you've never seen that.
Oh, I haven't seen. I'm not familiar with that.
So that is done by John Fredericks, Sharp Mountain Games. It's just a little designer, and he created a superhero game that you can create a character in about 30 seconds.
All right, let's do it right now.
Just go. Okay, here's the deal. So you have, you know what? Let me get the things up, and I'll.
How many? Do I need any dice? I got dice.
You need dice. You need dice. I'm going to get the character sheet out for you real quick.
Clock's going. 30 seconds. Put 30 seconds.
Shush. Don't stop it. I need to get to the information before I get to 30 seconds. Okay. Where's the thing? There it is. Okay, so here's the deal. I need you to write 4 attributes: strength, dexterity, intelligence, and charisma.
Okay.
Okay. So I need you to do a plus. You're going to put a +3, a +2, a +1, and a 0 under each one of those attributes. So pick one for each.
Okay. Strength gets 3. Dex gets 2.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one?
Intelligence and charisma.
Charisma gets 0, and then the intelligence gets 1.
All right. So you're playing a bruiser. Cool. Now write down D12, D10, D8, D6.
Okay. Just imagine I did that.
Yes. So now pick a power or a skill for each of those. If you want to do armor, you can assign that to one of your dice, but then you don't get to use that for a roll.
D12, D6, and D8?
D12, D10, D8, D6.
Oh, a D10 as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So my skill for my D12 is going to be portal hopping.
Awesome.
My skill for my D10 is going to be chainsaw whip. My skill for my D8 is going to be sommelier, and then my skill for my my last one is a D6, and that is going to be fishing.
Okay, they love that. Now, here's the thing. You created yourself a chainsaw whip, so that's something that you can actually have taken away from you, so you get an extra D6 power or skill.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put this D6 over here. Yep,
Yeah. So
got it.
what other D6 are you going to do? You get a
Oh,
second one there.
because I created a thing that goes
Because
with it.
because you can lose it. You get an extra D6.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say that extra one is I don't know what it's called, but you know when you take your hand and a knife and you're like knife.
We're just going to say fearless. You can do
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
All right, so you don't have any. So you have 20 hit points. Pick a superhero name and give yourself an alias.
Um, yeah, like Whippy is
Okay.
the superhero name, and the alias is Chris Pintster.
Chris Pines, there's your hero. You're done.
Yeah, that's easy.
That's the game.
I love it.
Then you run. And to succeed, you roll a d20, add your attribute, and you a 10 or higher hits.
Sounds fun.
It's really
Um,
fun.
and that did you say that one you were running as a one shot, or you have an
I
actual
run that when nothing else can run.
intermittently?
I'll
Yeah,
just run it. I'm running it at EcclesiaCon this year. Should be a lot of fun. John's going to
cool.
be at EcclesiaCon, so he's going to run too. He's going to
Oh,
get to
cool.
come to the table and see how I run his game, which is always kind of fun. And he's a good friend of mine, so I'm glad that he's able to come. So there you go. That's what I'm running. All right. Here's what I want credit for. Were that you at PAX were doing
Okay.
one of the funnest, the coolest things ever. You were doing content creator care packages.
Mm,
Was
okay.
that all your idea?
Well, yeah.
That was amazing. I
What?
just
Oh,
and on behalf of all content creators everywhere, it was great. So you had what did you have in it? You had
I mean, the most important thing in
halls.
there, yeah, was the lozenges, right? Because
Yes.
when you're at these conventions,
Actually,
and look, I've been going to conventions for a long time. I told you I was 12 when I went to my first Dragon Con,
yep.
and then I constantly I'm trying to like utilize my time as best I can, so I don't ever want to stop talking, and then I want to be able to like give you all of the things that I want you to take with you and in the
Uh-huh.
same go. So it was all of our like promotional stuff, and then the
Yeah.
lozenges, and the oh yeah, and the trading cards.
The
So
trading cards.
the trading cards, I tried to convince um, I tried to convince the team at Exalted that we needed to have a like a catalog, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
because like a lot of small companies have those. Like, yeah, here's like a little catalog. It's got all of our this year's games in it.
Uh-huh.
And we kept on like not doing it, and then finally, yep, that's
The rabbit.
the rabbit. Um, I can't remember exactly how it came
I need
about.
to play this still. Mouse Rotor.
Mouse
So
Ritter. Oh, that's
very
mine
good.
right there. Ooze none. Yep.
He's done.
Mm-hmm.
This was brilliant. It was brilliant. It was really neat to have this come in.
Yeah, so it's our catalog of games that are already out and forthcoming in the form of a pack of trading cards.
It it was a really cool idea. Like
Thanks.
I like I said, I keep them here on my shelf. Like I know exactly where they are so that I can look at them because they make me very happy.
Well,
And now
I can't take all the credit here, Wes. Like I have an amazing team at Exalted Funeral.
you do.
Every
But
everybody
you're the
there
one
is
who is give you're the one who gave them to content creators. I have to. It's a nice to sit. You have no idea if you're doing this just to get a lozenge because it's the one thing everybody forgets to bring. You're like, oh my gosh, and they were not even like cheap hauls. They were like really. I think they were
yeah.
Ricola.
Yeah,
You were,
Ricola is the best.
dude.
Absolutely.
You were going high class. It was very nice. So
So
let's go ahead.
the the first I forget what convention it was. It might have been like Gen Con, like maybe the first Gen Con where I was trying to like hustle. And somebody had brought like a giant bag of halls. I was losing my voice,
Oh yeah.
and this person just was like walking around being like, I see you have, and it was like, you know, I needed it so bad, and it helped me so much that I was like, I want to be that guy that is
Awesome.
like thinking about the throats of other. That sounds weird, but yeah, I want to be thinking about other people's throats and how they're probably hoarse from yelling, because you have to yell to like even hear yourself think
Oh,
in
you
these
can't.
like,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
so,
it's so
especially at
loud.
PAX, it is so loud.
I mean, Gen
So
Con too. It's just like it's like
I have been told to avoid Gen Con because my introverted personality will just like implode and go hide into a corner.
with joy.
I will have joy, but I'll be
Yeah,
terrified the whole time. So let's switch. We're going to switch to your game, to Tavers, which is good because sometimes in the
sure.
winter, I just posted, I saw the game trailer. It gave me the impression that designer wanted to make something even weirder than Troika. Don't know what's going on, but it looked cool. Stay tuned. We're talking about this now. So
Okay.
I've seen the trailers. I have seen the art, and Glenn's doing Ricola, so ADD moment for me.
Mhm.
I've seen the trailers. Weirder than Troika, right up there. The word trippy comes to mind.
Sure.
Is the big thing. So I got a couple of questions for it. Very psychedelic, but it's this Meow Wolf role playing game.
Yeah.
What is Meow Wolf for someone who is completely ignorant of things?
Sure. So, Meow Wolf is an immersive art space. So it's a physical space that you can visit. They invite you into their installation. It's like basically being invited into an art installation, but there are very few rules. So you can touch stuff, a lot of sort of sensory exhibits, like sometimes moving something triggers something happening in the environment.
Hmm.
And they hide Easter eggs and clues throughout the exhibit that sort of point you down a path of like there's some kind of narrative, there's some kind of story behind what you're experiencing, and it is incredibly bright. There's a lot of neon, there's a lot of lights, and I don't know. It's kind of like if you went to a psychedelic haunted house,
Uh huh.
but there was also like stuff for you to do instead of just walk through and look at it.
Gotcha.
Um, so it kind of mixes escape room theory a little bit, like you have to find clues, but you don't really have to. Like in an escape room, you have to find the clues or you can't get out and you feel like you've lost the game. This is like they have stuff that you can go investigate. They have like notes that are scribbled on journals that you can flip through and read. They
Okay.
have they have stuff that like as you're walking through you like can piece together and tie it from one location to another. There's a lot of connective tissue between not just the different spaces in a single exhibit, but also from exhibit to exhibit.
Do
They
they
have
take this on the road or is it in one spot?
so it is they are permanent installations.
Okay.
They have an installation in Grapevine, Texas, was just outside Dallas Fort Worth. They have one in Houston. The original one, which is celebrating this week, or maybe they either this week or earlier this week, they're celebrating their 10th anniversary from the first location, which is in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Awesome.
Famously, the home of George R. R. Martin, who actually um, funded the first Meow Wolf. So it's a
Really?
fun. Yeah, so they were just a bunch of scrappy performance artists, and they wanted to sort of make something a little bit more permanent. They were doing temporary installations, and they wanted to
Mm-hmm.
do something more permanent. And George R. R. Martin bought them a bowling alley, I think, which
That
is what
is one of
they're
the
what.
most wonderful random things I've ever heard.
Yeah,
But I'm
they
a
have a
bowling alley.
they
Okay.
have a huge one in. I mean, they gutted the bowling. There's no bowling
I
alley
understand
anymore. They
that, but still, I
gutted
would
it and
actually,
built this huge crazy art thing.
I love it.
Um, and then they have one in Denver. They have one in Las Vegas, and they are opening their newest exhibit space in LA this
Hmm.
year, which will coincide with the release of Tavers, the Meow Wolf role playing game.
Awesome. So, a couple questions off of that.
Yeah.
First is, How did you get connected with these folks? I know you're an artist, but like, how did you get connected? I like you drinking the beer on St. Patrick's Day. Very nicely done. I forgot mine. Um, how did you connected with them?
Coors Life. So they had been wanting to have a role playing game. A lot of them are gamers. They've been
Okay.
wanting to have a role playing game for a while. And Joe LaFavi of Genuine Entertainment, he's done a bunch of stuff for intellectual property related games, not just role playing games, but also board games.
Hmm.
Um, Famously, the Blade Runner, Free League's Alien, laundry
He
list, lots of things, all of the stuff, all the time.
he's the Free League IP game master. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he started getting into talks with them about what they wanted, and thought that we would be a really good fit. So introduced us, and sort of that's how it happened.
That's
They
cool.
Yeah, they wanted a game, and I was very stoked that that they let me make sort of a weird version of an RPG for their brand.
And like you went and visited like their installations and whatnot when you're doing research for the game.
Oh
That's
yeah,
really fun.
yeah. That was a really fun way to research a project. I'd already been to two of the spaces, but I made it a point to go visit the rest of them.
That's awesome. I love it. So this is a licensed product, which is
Yeah,
very, very cool. But it has like the cool thing is that you watch it, it's got your personality all over it, which is cool. Just like especially in those trailers, it was really fun. So I want to talk a little bit about characters. This is a very different style game. So how are characters built in Tavers?
well, the way that characters are built is, I mean, it's not all that different from what we just did for your superhero game.
Right.
There are very few options as far, I mean, like that you have to like actually choose. You have what are called schemes.
Mm-hmm.
Schemes are probably not the best place to start. Let's start with the Taver flavor. Taver flavor is kind of like an archetype, or like the closest thing to a class that Tavers has.
Okay.
And what your Taver flavor does is it gives your character a very specific um, requirement that it needs to try and fulfill during one of your in-game moves.
Okay.
So, just for example, there is a Taver flavor called the Rebel Adept, and the Rebel Adept thrives off of challenging authority. So, if you can work like challenging some authority figure into your turn when it's your turn, then that will let you roll for a discovery. And discoveries are the way that you sort of unravel the mysteries or the story of what's going on in a game.
Gotcha. We're going to talk a
Yeah.
little bit about that. So
Okay.
pretty cool. Um, so one of the things in watching how the game, because you do have a storyteller,
Yes.
is the storyteller separated from the rest of the players like they are in a lot of RPGs, or is it a much more collaborative style game? Like, could you run this technically GM-less?
So, I think that you probably could run this GMless. There are a lot of reasons that you should have a designated player to occupy the role of the storyteller,
Okay.
um, because you're going to be interacting with a lot of characters,
Okay.
and traveling to potentially several locations.
Mm-hmm.
So having somebody to sort of manage that portion of the story is important. But I think it's also important to understand that, unlike maybe a more traditional tabletop role playing game, the storyteller doesn't actually know where the story is going. So it's not like you sit down and like plan what's going
Mm-hmm.
to happen for a game. The storyteller is participating in a group storytelling experience. The group creates the story together. The storyteller just sort of helps facilitate it, and also, you get to do the voices for the non-player characters, right?
Always a fun time.
Yeah.
All right. So, and that kind of leads in because just from the brief little snippets that I've gotten so far, kind of like the setup of the game is your characters can tap into the source of imagination itself,
Yeah.
which is that's wonderful. But it's set up, it's wide open to go wherever you want with that as soon as you hit that, which is I find very attractive. When you have played the game, when you were designing the game,
Yeah.
are adventures kind of linked more towards reality warping hijinks because of this kind of wide open gonzo setup? Or have you actually seen some more serious themes point out as well? Or does it really depend on the players at the table?
It's a little bit of both,
Okay.
honestly. I've had groups that felt all gonzo, all like goof troop, all like let's be Animaniacs super zany, get into some like really deep topics and like build some stories like about deep loss
Okay.
and yeah, so like you can go to some serious places while still being kind of way out there. And I've seen both. I've seen people think like, oh well, I'm going to be very serious about the the reality of breaking the laws of
Mm-hmm.
physics. But yeah, both. The answer is both again. Um,
That's kind of cool that it allows for that kind of molding in all those different types of themes.
it has guardrails on it, right? So
Okay.
there are parameters for players to like not feel like they're just shooting off in all different directions.
Okay.
But those guardrails are not there to like keep anybody locked in. It's just to keep people, on the
Just
same
to
page,
keep the group
basically.
together so you
Yeah,
can't really lone wolf. Oh, that's the whole thing. This is collaborative storytelling. You can't lone wolf it because you would lose somebody's voice. So how does the process work as the table creates the story together? Like how does that process work around play?
sure. So it's it's honestly it's very simple, but it's hard to explain. Um, you
The
you
best kind.
yeah you you go around in a circle and everybody adds a little bit to the story is the simplest way that I can put it. There
But
are of
there's like a
course
shared
rules.
writing space, right? As
Oh
you're doing
yes.
it?
Yes, there is. So there is a sheet, a single character sheet that is shared by all, called the episode sheet. Each character has their own sheet where they do their personal stuff, but everything the group does together, you record it together on an episode sheet. It's it's just like a glorified doodle zone, but you use it to track your discoveries as and like make notes about what's going on in the story.
Okay.
And it ties everybody sort of back to what's going on in the narrative and keeps everybody invested in what everybody's doing. So you're not just like waiting, because it goes around the circle and people take turns, right?
Right, right, right.
But you're not just like sitting around waiting for it to be your turn, which you constantly have that, especially in a combat situation. It's like you're just like, I'm going to play on my phone until it's my turn, and then when it's my turn, I'm going to be like, okay, how many zombies are still alive? Okay, I do whatever I was planning on doing.
Yeah.
No, like the story progresses in such a way that everybody is just sort of naturally engaged in it. And even if it's not your turn, there's opportunities to like pitch in. As far as like, there's a thing called the group planning, which is where you come out of individual turns and everybody like does a little huddle in the middle of gameplay. Um, so like, yeah, I don't know. I guess I've said already that I'm a strong believer in community
Uh-huh.
and I love social interaction. So maybe it's not a surprise that this game features both of those things pretty heavily.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you invented let me point this out to you. You invented a game where the entire party is taking notes
Uh huh.
and have successfully backed it on Kickstarter.
Yep. Oh, let me
Very,
tell you
very
this.
nice.
Let me tell you this too. So there's a resource in this game
Okay.
called source points. Source points are how you do the like the wild stuff, right? Like this is
Okay.
how you open portals to jump to other places. This is how you like grow yourself to the size of a giant, or like turn yourself into a worm and dive into an apple. Source points, and they're incredibly difficult to regain. The primary way that you regain source points is by participating and recapping what happened last time. But it's a storytelling game, so it makes sense, right? And
It does
so
make sense, but you actually have done something to benefit the entire hobby as a whole,
I hope so.
which is just fantastic. Everybody's taking notes now. We have to. We're playing Tavers.
Yeah, okay.
So this is, again, reading kind of the snippets here. It's a skills based game, kind of, is
Kind
the
of, yeah.
best way. How is that kind of work?
Sure. So the skills are keyword based. We call them fragments.
Okay.
And the way that a fragment works is a fragment is 1/3 of a mem. A mem is basically a memory or a dream that your character has had in their past. So it's a bit of backstory.
Okay.
So you can create a mem in the same way that you tell the story, which is the active player will be like, "Hey, I'm going to tell you this memory or this dream where I one time I rolled up a superhero character on a live stream with Wes." And then the next person next to me would be like, "Oh yeah," and then after you rolled up that thing, you came up with a name for him, and then you immediately started playing the game, and during that game, you ordered a pizza, and everybody ate so much pizza that they couldn't stand up and they had to roll around. And then that goes all the way around the table. Everybody
Okay.
adds something. You choose 3 words from the story that was just told. So rolled, pizza. What's something else in there? Superhero, right?
Superhero. Yeah.
Sure. And it's up to the active player to choose what 3 words. They have to choose one of the words from their part of the story, which is the beginning, and then 2 other words from what the other players contribute. You
Oh
add
wow.
you add those words down onto your memory bank, your mem bank, and then anytime you can work those words into what you're doing, you can do it. So we call those fragments like the skill based portion of the game.
That's
They're
wild.
they're one time use, so you have to make more mems. When you use one, you cross it off.
How neat.
They If they are being used on a move that triggers or sparks a discovery roll, then you get a +1 to your die roll.
Sounds good.
If you're just doing it as a skilled move, it just allows you to do it. It just allows for success if you can work that word, or if you have an item that also you can use an item in the same way.
That's that's actually really cool. I love the
So
way that.
it's stolen. Just to be clear, this is stolen from other great designers.
Well, I
That
mean,
sort of there's some OSR thought about characters that
uh-huh.
are inventory based, right?
Yeah.
So this is inventory based plus like
Storytelling. Yeah.
memory based, right?
Love it.
It's sort of the same thing.
It's it's pretty cool. What is it? Would great or good artists borrow, great artists steal. So that's yeah. Good job. No, I it's
Thieves also steal.
you got, you're not a
But yeah,
thief. You're good. No.
I am very fortunate that there has been already a lot of innovation in the last 8 to 9 years in the gaming space. I mean, this is what happens. Like we saw a long period of the hobby having sort of consistent output, and
Uh-huh.
then I mean, I hate to say it, but like kind of thanks to the pandemic, we had this explosion of creativity
Mm-hmm.
entering into the hobby and people thinking about gaming a little bit differently and like trying out new ideas. And I'm kind of just riding the wave of that, really, because um, I couldn't have done all of this if other people hadn't, started rolling that ball down the hill before me. So, I need to salute my shorts.
We will salute all
Yeah.
the people who have contributed to progressing the hobby over the last decade or so.
I
But
hope
it's
I hope this adds to that story, right? I just want to be a
yeah,
person adding to the story the way Tavers is supposed to be played.
I love it. This like you describing it to me is going to be like, okay, this is really cool. Does Tavers have a lot of lore in it, or is it just kind of set up? You touch the source of creation or of creativity. Like, is there a whole story behind it that you're jumping into, or is it like, nah, you guys make it up. It's up to you.
So this is a hot button topic you've hit on,
Mm.
because Meow Wolf has an insane amount of lore.
Okay.
There there is so much lore surrounding Meow Wolf that by the time I got through reading all of it, I was like, there's no way to include it all.
Okay.
Um, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized I don't actually want to include all of this lore, because the thing that I love about games is like creating
Yeah.
stuff. And since this became it didn't start this way, but it became a storytelling game, I started just sort of hacking and slashing the amount of lore that was going to be included down
Okay.
to there is hardly any lore included. There's just enough so that the storyteller can offer up prompts that can point players in the right direction.
Okay.
That's it. There's no lore section. There's no like chapter of
Okay.
lore to read. And at first it was just sort of like out of necessity, but at the more it sort of started to evolve, I was like, wow, I really hope I can keep it this way and I don't get strong armed into adding a lore chapter, because
Okay.
I love that it doesn't have a lore chapter.
Cool.
I love that because it allows you to create your own lore. And that's what you do on these sheets. That's what
Mm-hmm.
you do. All of the like the adventures, like they're called episodas, but the episodas are basically like lists of prompts. It's
Hmm.
like it's a it's the hook of a story, and
Okay.
then it's things that like satellites of a story that you will find along the way, and you as a storyteller and as a group of players have to decide what all of these things mean, and that is
Okay.
really the fun of it.
That sounds awesome. How did Meowwolf kind of take it when you're like, yeah, we're not putting any of your lore in the book?
At first they were not. They were like, oh, no, we have to put lore in the book. And I was like, hear me out, let me hear me out.
Okay.
We're, and they heard me out, and thankfully they listened. And then I got to go to Santa Fe and run my game for
Okay.
them, the game I made for them. And
Okay.
I was kind of sweating bullets a little bit,
Gotcha.
being like, okay, so I'm gonna go run this game about exploring Meow Wolf to the people that created Meow Wolf.
Meowwolf.
Like,
Gotcha.
I'm like, there's no way, like, but it happened, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I ran it, and they loved it, and they were like, I didn't think that I would experience something new, but like this game does that. It allows for it truly allows you to like tap into that source of creativity and allows you to like make something unique, and it's like nobody else is going to care about it, but like you and that group of people that make it together, it is like it's something that you'll cherish. So
Oh, that's so
that's
cool.
yeah.
And you know, in the future, if you just want to do a lore book just to have for fun,
Well, that's
not
what I
even make
told.
it a source book, but just do the lore book. It's great.
Well,
People like that.
that's I mean that's what I told them. I was like, you know what, I was tasked with creating a game, and
Mm-hmm.
this game doesn't need. This is a storytelling game, and it doesn't need lore. And I think when I started wording it that way, that's when they like really were like, oh, okay, yeah, like, all right, I get it.
Does the fact that
But
you're an
that doesn't
artist,
mean that they shouldn't. That means
yeah,
doesn't mean that they shouldn't make that down the road. I'm
I
sure
think
people would love it.
Exalted Funeral will be a good publisher for it. The does the fact that you're an artist did that help you with pitching that as like I'm taking the lore out of the game, but here I'm keeping your artistic vision as part of
This
it. Like, did they notice that?
this book is very art heavy,
Oh heck yeah!
um, and I cannot take any of the credit for that. Our art director David Hoskins is an absolute genius and a saint for putting up with all of my crazy requests. Um, I absolutely could not do this work without him. So all of the art credit goes to David for he's sourced so many amazing artists and creatives and letterers and comic book artists, and actually the cover artist is a Marvel comic book artist, Trad Moore.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
It's just the promo materials alone are just they're psycho amazing. It's really cool stuff. I got a question from chat. I got a couple more questions about the
Oh
game
yeah.
itself. Question from chat from King Eric.
Mhm.
Serious question: does the game have provisions for hearing impaired players, meaning people who use ASL to communicate? Just curious.
Oh damn, that is a great question that I have not thought about. Yeah, it does not currently have that, and I don't actually know. Wes, maybe you know, like what provisions do you take for? I mean, aside from having someone in your gaming group that you know knows sign language,
Yeah.
like that's the only thing I can really think of. I'm hoping that if there is someone that has a hearing impairment and they really want to play, that they can find a group that has someone who can help communicate with them. Um,
I think because of the way it's designed, so many people are writing. So as you pass the sheet around the table, the hard part would be to communicate the context of like what the transition is going to.
yeah,
So someone definitely have to have ASL at the table. I think it'd actually be harder to adapt for someone who is visually impaired,
I agree.
um,
Um,
which that would be an interesting project to take on. So that because
well,
visually impaired folks have great imaginations as well.
I think
Um,
I think really the what and thank you so much for bringing that up. That is a question that is super considerate, and I kind of feel like an asshole for not having thought of this at all beforehand. But thank you for that question. I think kind of in line with the considerate nature of that question, if you are hoping to have a table with someone that has an impairment, I think being courteous and considerate of that impairment is really the only way to provide for those players. So if there is someone with a visual impairment, describe to them what you're writing or drawing. If there is
mhm.
someone with a hearing impairment, um, you know, take more notes, write things down, have someone that can sign language or can sign. Um, yeah, I think the only provision really is just to be considerate of those with impairments.
Yep. Hospitality is key.
Yeah,
It's always that's what running a game. I want to actually do a couple posts or an article or two on just the idea of GMing as hospitality, because that is my first safety tool is the hospitality of the GM around the table,
yeah.
creating a space for people that they can have fun.
We can
But great
actually.
question,
It's
Eric.
that's a good segue into safety tools,
Sure.
which is something that I spent maybe too much time thinking about. I don't know. I don't know that there's too much time. Like spending too much time shouldn't really be a thing when it comes to safety, right? Um, but because of the sort of unique nature of how this game is played,
Mm-hmm.
um, and because the responsibility of a good time doesn't necessarily rest solely with the storyteller, but is shared. It's
Hmm.
collective storytelling. It's
That's why I
shared.
use hospitality, because it's a two-way street,
Yeah,
guest and host.
yeah, and that's really important for a
Hmm.
game of Tavers. Is not only that everybody sort of shares responsibility for everyone at the table having a good time, but also that you take a more proactive approach than just an X card or lines and veils. And the tool that I've been using, I don't have one with me, but it's the deck of player safety. Um, have you
They
seen
were
it, Wes?
selling they were selling that at PAX last year. I didn't pick one up, but I
I
remember
definitely
it.
recommend it. We don't actually sell it. I wish that we did, but basically, it's a deck of cards. It has a whole bunch of different like sort of typical hot button
Hmm. Hmm.
things that people may have many different reasons for wanting to avoid. You pass the deck around. Everybody picks out one card. There are cards that say anything goes. There are also blank cards, and then everybody has to turn a card in.
Okay.
So no, it's anonymous, but you reveal the cards before you start playing. You shuffle them and reveal them, so nobody knows who's submitted what. So you maintain some. It's anonymous, right?
Right.
But you know ahead of time, like, hey, these are topics that we are not going to approach, and
Right.
it's super helpful for a group storytelling game because everybody starts out on the same page. We're leaving these
Hmm.
things alone, and it then becomes everybody's responsibility to avoid those.
What I like about that deck is that me as the GM, I can flip the cards like these are never at my table. And be like, bing, bing, bing.
Yeah,
That's my starting point. Like whatever you want to add to it, go right ahead. But I'm not here.
yeah,
So like that's always like you want to do a lot of sexy stuff. I run PG-13 games, so which is that's good. We'll go off camera for that, but we're doing stuff. Eric wanted to know if there could be a braille version, or would that be cost prohibitive? So
oof. I imagine that would be cost prohibitive.
I've never seen an RPG book in braille.
I haven't either. I honestly, I have no idea. I feel a little bit like an imbecile for not knowing more about how that works.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. And Eric pointed out, I have a friend who's transgender in my D&D group, and she says she feels safe in the group. We had one player leave though because she couldn't, or they couldn't keep an open mind about it, which is
That's unfortunate.
sad. But I'm glad that your friend has a safe place to play. That's kind of important. So good thoughts. I like the deck of player safety as a tool, especially for a expansive. We're writing the fiction as we go. That's
Yeah.
even more important because it's harder to manage because you can't
Oh,
just have somebody like erase their stuff. So yeah.
yeah. I should also mention, and that once again, this is not affiliated with me or Exalted Funeral in any way, but I have met the guy and he's very nice, as you would expect for creating such an amazing tool. But there's also a free version of the deck of player safety that you can use online, and
Awesome.
you create a new game, you share the link with your players, they pick their cards. I think it's a great tool, and I hope that it slowly, tools like that slowly replace, um, X cards.
Yeah, I've never X cards never kind of hit it for me, and I never liked like the intake form for like Monty Cook for like the interview
Yeah,
because it felt like I was signing a contract,
right.
um, which it kind of is, but I like it to be a little bit more informal. But that deck of player safety I thought was really threads that needle pretty nice. It's a cool
It
tool.
yeah, it takes. I mean, it takes the sort of when you're playing a game and you start to have a problem, like you don't want to bring it up and talk about it. You don't want to have to like draw attention to the fact that you have a problem, and you probably just want to like get up and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, and so having to like broadcast like, hey, I'm not okay with this by touching the card. I mean, I think there are some cases where everybody should agree, like, hey, maybe this is not where this game should be going.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're playing at a convention or at a place where you don't know everybody at the table, which I think is probably the most common place for these sort of things to come up.
Yeah.
You know, our
Eh,
home games, we know each other, and we know like what's cool and what's not. You
yeah.
know,
And when someone comes in who's kind of new to the table, there's a there's kind of that shared culture on the table to be like, no, we're pushing back against that. Like that's not
yeah,
cool. You got to chill
yeah.
out. No, I like they're really good tools. Thank you for bringing it up. I want a couple more questions about your game because inventory you borrowed from
Okay.
another fun system.
Uh
I
huh.
don't know if I would love this or hate it because I don't have the manual dexterity to do this out like launching things across the room. But how does inventory work in your game?
Okay. So we call them item tronicles. On your character sheet, you have a grid. This is also lovingly stolen from other games that have done items that occupy squares on your inventory. So Mouse Ritter is one of
Yeah,
those,
I'm looking
famously.
for the card.
Cairn also does it. Um, Diablo, video game.
Yeah,
I never played Diablo, but yeah, there's
mouse
Mouse
ritter.
Ritter.
Yeah,
And also, my good buddy Andre Novoa, his forthcoming game Flail also will feature a inventory system similar to this.
gotcha.
I wanted to. I knew that I wanted to have something tactile, so that you know you physically place the thing onto your character sheet. I love that about these games. But I wanted to see if there was some way that I could like permutate it, make it my own, and then make it sing for Meow Wolf. And there's a contingent of let's call them rascals in the realm of Meow Wolf that hang out in arcades, and they're very sort of 80s punk themed, and they're all about sort of like retro video games.
Uh huh.
So I borrowed a famous mathematical shape called a tetromino. It's not a tetramino, which is copyright Tetris, but it is a set of four orthogonally connected squares
Mm-hmm.
that create a shape. So when you pick up an item, you will roll a d8, and that will determine which shape um, your large item is, and then you have to be able to place it onto your grid. Um, Obviously, this only works for a certain number of items. And then when things start to not fit, you have to either start dropping things or figure something out. You get to reset your grid every session. So, you know, if you end up with some ones that don't fit together perfectly, you can reset them at the beginning of
Oh, cool.
the next game. Yep.
That's all. I mean, it is fascinating, and you've created a whole nother thing because people can create their uh, let's put it copyright distinct or legally distinct from Tetris shapes to come down. It looked really fun. I
Yeah.
would I would lose my mind. I would create a digital app for it, but it's a really cool idea. So, and then the other thing in your video, some really cool D8s. Which what do you call
Oh yeah.
them?
I call them I call them octahedrals. And it's an eight
Oh, they're
sided.
huge. I didn't even realize is that the size they're going
No,
to be or no? Okay,
no.
darn it.
This is the
That'd have been cool.
this was my 3D printed mock-up to like show that this shape actually works in reality.
That's so
Um,
cool.
because I started describing this to someone, you know, it has a wave, you know, in the
Yeah,
center of this eight-sided um
it's not
oh,
platonic. It's very
correct.
pretty. It's very
Yeah.
pretty.
So it's there's double purpose here. The Meow Wolf logo is a pink M on top of a green W, and
Gotcha.
it has like this sort of wavy line in it. So I designed this so that when you have two of them, which is what you use in the game, side by side. I
Uh-huh.
don't have two of these, but you get the idea. You get the idea. It mimics
The Meow Wolf.
the Meow Wolf logo.
So it is a dice light game because people
It
are
is
doing
dice
their
like.
prompts on. So how are the dice being used in the game?
Sure. So I mentioned them earlier. There is a discovery roll. The
Mm-hmm.
discovery roll is what allows you to capture the little bits of information that end up counting towards your objective goal. So each
Okay.
episode, the sheet that you have a goal. It's based on which episode or adventure you're running, and typically, the storyteller can modify this number based on how long they're hoping to play.
Okay.
Um, but typically, it's based on the number of people playing Tavers, right?
Gotcha.
So basically, every time you roll, you will have a target number. You can add your fragments from your mems, and you can
Mm-hmm.
also add up the number of squares in your items. So we talk about these large items. They have 4 squares. Those four
Mm-hmm.
are orthogonally connected and fun shapes.
Yeah.
A medium item is just 2 squares, so it gives you a +2 bonus, and then a small item is just 1 square, and it gives you a +1 bonus.
Awesome. Okay.
So you add that up. If it hits your target number, then you will, you will receive a discovery. You will find something during your action,
Okay.
and that will become a relevant part of your story. And then you and the players, rest of the table, get to decide like what does this mean? We found
Okay.
this thing. What does it mean? And then that becomes the next beat of your story. What does this new thing mean?
Awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool. And how does a story come to its conclusion for a session?
How does a story resolve? Well, I'm not going to give away all of the secrets, but that's okay. But after you have, because this is one of the funnest parts. I shouldn't be close-lipped about it. So after you have achieved all of these things, you do like this sort of, I call it a recap, but basically you go through all of the story beats that you've uncovered so far,
Okay.
explaining as you go what you decided that they meant, and then you have to come together as a group. So you do a group think, and like, okay, like how does, and every time we've done it, it's just the most crazy fun thing where people are like, oh, like the little worm guy, or
Oh
the
my gosh.
remember the SWAT team, like, oh, and that connects to this thing. Yeah, and it's like every time it's the most fun part of the game. Everybody kind of comes together and decides like how it makes sense. So
That's
finding out
so cool.
how it makes sense is definitely the best part
Okay,
for me.
two
Yeah.
things on that. Off stream, I need to find out where the do you remember the SWAT team came from, because that just has got to have a story behind it. And then second off, I can imagine that this would be a really useful game then in a therapeutic RPG session.
Oh, I'm sure.
Not that I'm trained to use it, but I can just imagine like this is very much an exploration of different stuff. Really cool idea. Um, so you had talked earlier about like one of the ways that you get your source points is that you recap what happened in the last session. Have you run campaigns with this? Do characters progress?
Yes.
How does this all work?
So I started to talk about schemes before,
Mm-hmm.
but I stopped myself because it didn't really answer the question you were asking. But now that you've asked that
There
question,
we go.
schemes. So schemes are weird little almost meta side goals that characters get to pre-select. And what they do is they give you these little fun things to try and accomplish during the game. So one of my absolute favorite ones is the Pun Lord. Pun
Okay.
Lord basically, it's sort of exactly what you think it is, but you have to use a fragment or a keyword in an unsuspecting way.
Okay.
So, for example, shoe, SHOE, like the thing you wear on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
If during your move you shoo
Shoot
somebody
somebody.
away, like that would be an effective use of that scheme.
Gotcha.
When you satisfy that result during gameplay, you don't announce it, but you check it off on your sheet, and you try to do three. As soon as you've done three, um, well, so at the end of your session, right, the storyteller will be like, "Did anybody achieve any of their schemes?" And you'll be like, "My scheme was this," and you tell everybody, what when it was during the story,
Okay.
and everybody kind of agrees or disagrees whether or not you satisfied it. And then after you have satisfied three schemes, that's basically leveling, right?
Okay.
You'll get to pick new schemes for the next session, and you'll get to take one of your fragments from your mem bank. So like you've created these words, you've crossed through some of them. You can take
Mm-hmm.
any word, any fragment word, and move it from your mem bank into your vault. And your vault is where your permanent words, so like these are words that you can use all the time, and that's how you grow. So like sort of in the same way your superhero game, I picked out, chain, whip,
Uh-huh.
fishing, and sommelier. Like those words kind of define that character. So you want to pick the ones that you had the most fun with,
Uh-huh.
or ones that you're excited to use, or that you think maybe you're thinking a little bit more strategically, like, oh, I think based on where the story is going, I might need this later. So you then add them to your vault, and your vault, those words, you can just use them over and over again for skilled moves or for your discovery rolls without having to cross them off.
Okay, that's really cool because your advancement is character building
Yeah.
rather than uh, power fantasy, which is a really it's a nice switch. You've sold me on now. Now I got to figure out how
This
I'm going to
game
back this.
is
Dang
this
it!
game is this game is not like other role playing
It's
games.
not. It's
If you're hoping
cool.
to swing a sword, let me just tell you, there can be combat, but combat is definitely not the goal of this game. Character progression is, and
Yeah.
story progression is. So, if you're excited about creating fun, memorable stories as characters progress and create fun, memorable stories about those characters, this is the game for you.
Have you had anybody kind of like fictionalize or write out the fiction of the story after it gets done?
Well, so no, but also the game does that. So your episode
Okay.
sheet ends up being like I haven't written any of the games that we've played down, but
Okay.
all of the episode sheets that I still have, I can look at them and I can be like, this drawing plus this little note
Uh-huh.
plus this like crazy little set of 8 arrows going all over the place, like this tells a story that you only understand. It's like hieroglyphs. Like you
Yeah.
only understand it if you were there for it, which
That's
makes it so
awesome.
much cooler. So I don't know. I think it would be really fun to like have some episodes all together from people, and like, okay, well, here's when I did that adventure and what my story looks like, and here's what mine looked like, and you look at them together, and if you weren't there, you're not
And
gonna.
you know what would be really hysterical is to do a panel at a convention and take the finished episodes and just have people try to interpret them.
Yeah,
That would be one of the funniest things that I could
yeah, like,
imagine
yeah.
seeing.
What happened in the story? Here's the notes.
Like,
So,
what is this? You just
now
have to make it up on there.
I will say
Awesome.
I've had some groups that lean more on taking notes, like
Yeah, I would be more text. Yeah,
writing stuff out, and others that lean more on visual representation by doing little doodles and drawings. So it's kind of up to how the story team wants it to play out.
that's awesome. It reminds me. So I ran in my 5e campaign. We ran online, and the whole time we would play, the Discord would be just filling up with people doing gifs of all the
Yeah, yeah.
events. And you would scroll back, and the people who had missed the session be like, what were you people doing? Like,
Yeah,
that just
exactly.
sounds like that. It's brilliant. And I want to say a shout out to Jason from Shadowmane for being here. He's awesome. Thank you for being on, Jason. All
Hi,
right, let's
Jason.
talk. Let's talk about your Kickstarter. So
Okay.
when does your current campaign end? Because you are on Kickstarter. I'm not using that generically. It is a Kickstarter campaign. When does it end?
Um, the first Friday of April, which I think is the third.
I can check for you if you want.
I mean, you asked me the question. I should give you the answer. I'm pretty sure it's April 3rd. We're almost at like the exact midpoint right now.
Yes.
We do 30 days plus a day or two,
Okay.
so that it ends on a Friday. So there are 17 days to go. Um, Today is March 17th. You do the math.
Yep. It is April 3rd.
Okay,
Good
April 3rd.
Friday,
Right.
by the way. Very good. Um, and I'll be busy that day, that's all I'm saying. So this is the kind of the question anytime excuse me. It's late. I need a Halls or a
That's
Ricola.
fun.
Um,
Uh, I've got
so
a whole
this
bag of them over here for
I
you.
think I have yours from PAX sitting in that cup. But the one of the cool questions that always comes out when a crowd or a campaign or a book is being crowdfunded, I can
Yeah,
talk, is how much of the work still needs to be done before it goes to press? Like how much of this work is currently finished?
yeah. So right now, I would say that probably I know that like I should probably have like a percentage done.
Just I mean ballpark, like where are you feeling? Like
Yeah, I would say it's like 85%.
that's pretty
Um,
good.
it still needs another editorial pass on the main manuscript and
Mm-hmm.
still needs layout.
Okay.
Um, so there are some big hunks of work that still need to be done. Most of the items, surprisingly, are pretty far along in their production.
Okay.
But one of the things that's been really cool about this project is that the Meow Wolf team has been very hands-on. So, um, and that maybe that doesn't sound cool, but this is their their first game as as well. So they are very invested in seeing it happen and seeing it come to fruition. So
Yep.
part of that is a lot of back and forth, but it's it's also really good because it's making sure that we're delivering the thing that they want the most,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
And like you didn't mention art as being something that you're in desperate need of.
No,
So
I mean there are so many I mean you should go and look at some of the artists that we have on this project. It is kind of a crazy list of huge talent. It's a crazy list of huge talent.
I love
uh,
it. Here I'm going to bring the
particip- Participating in the project. Yeah. Oh, look, there it is.
there it is. It's cool stuff. Let me get over so I can actually scroll it. So you are funded, which is really cool. When are you hoping to ship this?
So this will be shipping in December of this year. Um, Probably the most ambitious timeline we've ever attempted at Exalted.
Okay.
Um, but For the most part, we're pretty much, at least I am pretty much like solely on this project.
Hmm.
So in the past, we've done a lot of projects where we had external creatives working, to like get us across the finish line. And this time,
Mm-hmm.
the team is internal, so we have a lot more control. Um, o-
That's kind of
Over,
different
yeah,
for Exalted Funeral too, because you have a lot of folks that are games are developed outside and
yeah.
come in because that's the way Monty Python was done. That's old school
Hmm.
essentials. So
Dolman
kind of
would,
neat.
yeah,
Dolmenwood and Land of Eam. So this is kind of neat. So it's a nice internal game that you did, and look at this artwork, guys.
yeah.
It's just so Psychedelic is the thing. So you're hoping to ship by December, which is really cool. Funding has already got done, and we hit an auspicious moment because you broke $180,000, which
Yeah.
means you got stretch goals to talk about.
So, um, the 180K stretch goal, which we just unlocked, and haven't announced yet, but I'm going to announce it here because well, maybe it says what it's
Let's
going to
see.
be.
Let's see.
Does it say? It probably
It does not.
says.
Oh, 185.
Oh, okay. All right, just kidding.
So
Yeah.
don't let anybody know. We know it's a digital stretch goal.
Um
Oh, it does say
yeah.
additional episode is PDF by guest writers.
Yeah. So the hope is that it will not be digital forever and that it will actually be a printed zine that comes along.
Oh,
But I didn't say that. So yeah, and I don't know if I can say all the names, but like there's some hot artists on this game. We've got some hot writers coming in to do some guest writing.
love it.
And so basically, this book comes with 5 episodes, which is a ton of content. That's 5 campaign arcs, basically.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and then we're gonna bring in 5 more. So it is a ton. It's a ton of stuff, right? So yeah, I'm really stoked about it. I think that the announcement should be coming very soon.
Okay.
Maybe before we hit that, we're about to do what's called like the mid campaign refresh, and so some cool things that you'll see if you're following the campaign or if you're just tuning into it is that
Gotcha.
there is going to be a video featuring me explaining a lot of the stuff that I've explained to you on this stream.
Mm-hmm.
There's also going to be what's called a primer, which will walk through sort of the basics of Taver character creation and some of the basics of the different rules. And it's all laid out and looks fancy and shiny.
Gotcha.
So both of those things should be hitting, your reels and your grams soon. And then the announcement of the guest authors as well. We'll
Awesome.
probably we'll probably also be announcing that there's going to be another stream where people can, like they have here, jump on, ask me questions about stuff, ask whoever our surprise guests are on the stream. You can ask them some questions too.
Oh,
Uh,
it's awesome.
so that keep your ears peeled or your eyes tuned for that
I love
announcement
it. And you're doing
coming
a
soon.
vinyl soundtrack?
Yeah. Oh
We're
my
going
god.
full hipster.
Full hipster.
Vinyl has hit $1 billion industry.
So the cool thing about the vinyl, so there's a lot of cool things about the vinyl. Number one, it's all original music composed by a Meow Wolf team of musicians.
Awesome.
And then there's also going to be an episoda. It's a micro episoda, but like a mini adventure basically that
Uh-huh.
accompanies the
The
vinyl. So
artwork.
you'll get some more game content with the vinyl as well.
Very
I
cool.
haven't
And
added it in yet, but see this thing that you're on right now.
yes.
There's a really cool like visual thing where it like opens and closes, which
Nice.
it's going to be probably be in like the advertisements or something soon.
The box set looks really cool.
Yeah.
I have to say that's why you do this to me. There's too many cool things
Well, I didn't do it to you. I think I did it for you.
for you.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
awesome.
yeah.
It's this looks really cool. It really does. I
Thank you.
love what you created here. And I knew essentially nothing when we started because I'm still learning this game. All I have are those nice little tidbits and the psychedelic information. And the way you explained how the game works is just very appealing to me as my
Oh, cool.
appreciation of the wider hobby has grown. This is a game that I think I'd have a lot of fun playing, which would be very, very cool.
All right. Well, we're just gonna have to schedule a game for when we hang out at PAX, I guess.
I think that would be absolutely hysterical. So I've kept you over an hour and a half. I don't want to keep you too much longer,
Ooh,
but I do want you to let people know where else
okay.
they can find you because you are a prolific creator. So where else can people encounter your stuff?
I guess. Okay. So Exalted Funeral, you can
Hmm.
find a lot of stuff that I've done there. In the games that we produce. I have a podcast called the Mad Dungeon Podcast. It's on all streaming platforms. Me and my partner in Epic Levels, which Epic Levels is a Dungeons and Dragons adventure fantasy hip hop group. We make
Okay.
we make music, hip hop music about fantasy adventure gaming. Um, D&D hip hop basically.
Okay.
Um, so Steve, who is my partner in that, is also my partner and co-host on the podcast.
Okay.
We bring on other game designers from the TTRPG hobby, interview them very briefly, and then we make something with them, improv style, on the show. It's a lot of fun. If you are interested in game design or kookiness, you should check it out.
Sounds fun.
I'm also an illustrator for the hobby, so I do artwork for gaming in general.
Hmm.
And then I also I have a Patreon, which is probably I should probably have started with pointing people to the Patreon. Here, let me. I brought one of these over here just in case to show it. So I make these. I call them micro adventure postcards,
Hmm.
and they are just that. It's a little postcard. It's got usually 5 to 7 locations on it, system agnostic, um, and I'm making at least one of these a month. And then if you join the Patreon at the paid tier, I mail it to you, so you can get this fun little thing and usually some swag in the
Those were
mail.
in your PAX care packages. I got one. It was very nice.
Oh, there was a dungeon in there.
There was I have one. I don't know if you
Oh,
gave it
okay,
to me separate, but you gave me, I have one. I thought it
okay.
was really, really cool. It's a
Oh,
neat
thanks.
idea.
Yeah.
Cool. So
So
people should go check you out.
yeah, it's just the Patreon is patreon.com/Tiger Wizard. Um, pretty much anywhere on the internet, you can find me as at Tiger Wizard.
Gotcha.
Say hello. I love building community and making new friends. So come say hi.
And Tiger Wizard is a great person to know, folks. So if you have not been in touch with him or chatted at all, it's a lot of fun. If you see him at a convention,
Oh,
he's
Gary
an
Con.
absolute blast. Oh, you going?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're going to Gary Con this week, right?
I'll be at Gary Con this week. If you're coming to Gary Con, I have a ton of stuff to give away. I've got stickers, I've got the little postcards, I've got
Mm-hmm.
zines, I've got some Land of Eam stuff. I've got some of those card packs. Very few of those card packs, so you have to tell me that you heard about
They're
them on.
pretty.
You have to tell me that you heard about them on DM Tales to get a card pack.
They're so pretty. So
Um, but yeah, if you see me at Gary Con, please come say hi. I love meeting new people. It's
yep.
what I'm here for.
And what other cons are you going to this year?
So after Gary Con, I will be at MomoCon, and then I will be at Gen Con, and then I haven't figured out kind of that far down, but I'll be at Dragon
Okay.
Con,
Okay.
and then I'll probably do one other convention before PAX, but I'm not sure. There's two that I'm kind of looking at.
Have you been to
Um,
Gamehole yet?
oh yeah,
I love
yeah.
Gamehole.
So I missed Gamehole the last 2 years,
Okay.
but I had been many years in a row before that. Basically, uh, I guess since pandemic.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but
Fun times.
it's kind of between that and there's another one in Pittsburgh that I'm considering.
Oh, nice. You hit? Are
So
you hitting Page next year?
I don't know. I really haven't scheduled that far in advance yet. So
Gotcha.
I know Ron's already hit me up about it. I know that I will be at PAX Unplugged
Gotcha.
because Exalted Funeral does PAX Unplugged in a boothing capacity. I know that I will be
Mm-hmm.
at Gen Con running games for our new GM program at Exalted Funeral.
Oh, neat.
It's going to be called the Grave Masters program.
Sounds perfect.
So, yeah. So, I know that I will be at those conventions and perhaps a couple more. But if you're at GaryCon this weekend, definitely come say hi.
Gotcha. If you get an invite back from Ron for Paige, that means he
Yes.
likes you.
Oh,
That's
okay.
good.
Okay, good.
Good guy. No, Ron's. I love Ron. He's been a very good friend to me. So, all right. Well, listen. I have kept you long enough.
I had a great time at Page. I hadn't had a chance to talk to my wife about it yet. So maybe I hope to see you there. How
Shh,
about that?
we'll talk about it. It's we have to keep the spouse happy. You also have a toddler in the house, so
That's true.
things are rough when you're traveling that much.
Oh yeah.
But I've kept you for over an hour and 45 minutes. I'm going
Okay.
to
Yeah.
ask you to stay online just for a couple of minutes so I can say goodbye to you properly afterwards and thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being on.
Of course.
This was a blast. I have been looking forward to this. I'm glad that we could make it work. I'm
Me
just going
too.
to go by myself for a little bit and send people away and then close it and then I'll be back on to say goodbye. I also want to point out folks that Tiger Wizard sent a whole lot of stuff from I can't point to my own shirt for the EcclesiaCon auction from Exalted Funeral, including a full EAM box set, the cloth maps, rule books for like Monty Python, an amazing cacophony of stuff. So if you're interested in coming and bidding on some of that things, they are phenomenal. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
that and for helping out.
Let's get that roof.
We got to. It's the quarter goes to the roof, three quarters goes to the book smiles because I can't raise
Hell
money
yeah.
for myself. I'm terrible at it. So
Hell
you
yeah.
wait around. I'll be right back for you.
Hey,
So
thank you so much for having me. It's been my pleasure. I'll
I,
see you guys later.
you're awesome, man. Thank you. Hold on a second. To Muto. Oh goodness, I hit it right at the end. Well, we've been here for an hour and 45 minutes, so I'm so sorry. But catch it on the replay because we had a good time. Um, folks, this was awesome. Tiger Wizard is so much fun. Really, he means it. If you see him at a con, you want to hit him up online to say hello. Community is really what he's all about. So, so excited that I'm connected with him, that he came on channel. This was a blast. Tavers looks amazing. So if you're interested in backing that, you get some funds, throw some that way. It's a really cool thing. Coming up on this channel, we have the RPG Book Club is coming back on the 25th. We're doing the last 3 chapters of Daggerheart. I think the same panel's coming on next time. We might add another person for this. If you want to be on the back end where we're discussing stuff off stream, come on the Discord. You need to become a coffee contributor to get the invite for that. Then you get access to the forum where we're chatting all of those things. Your comments can get on stream, and eventually we're going to start expanding the panel. Like there'll be times where I'm just producing, like I won't even be discussing the book. So if you want a possibility coming out, we don't promise it, but if you want the possibility of being on the stream to talk about it, that would be a good way to come on as well. We have so much fun on the Discord. It's a very small little intimate community, but everybody there is very kind, which is something that I'm very proud of. Also coming up, I am just released a thing on character arcs, exploring with K-pop Demon Hunters because I'm obsessed with that movie for some reason. I am reading Coriolis the Great Dark. I love it. It is going to be so much fun to review. I have Redacted sitting there behind me. I have Rifts for Savage Worlds, the settings book for Land of Eam and for Dolmenwood that I want to hit. I got TMNT, so many books that I want to review. I am looking forward to bringing it all to you, and hopefully more conversations. I know I'm talking with the Crit guys soon, and a couple more actual plays. We'll see what we can bring all of this to you. And until we see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.